Okay, Mayor, I've got
Oh.
7:30 and all five commissioners are present, so we can begin.
Okay, and you can see me and hear me? All good?
Yes.
All right, well, I will take my small gavel and I will call to order the regular City Commission meeting of November 10th, 2020. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge
I pledge allegiance to
allegiance to the flag
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it
stands,
one nation, under God,
one nation, under
God,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and
and
justice for all.
justice for all.
We're going to practice that before next time.
Okay.
So,
All right. So, Amy, can you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Budnick,
here.
Commissioner Perry,
Here.
Commissioner Scott,
Here.
Commissioner Wall,
Here.
Mayor Metzger.
Here. We're all here, so let's move on with the program. The first item, recently on October 21st, longtime resident and longest serving city attorney in the city's history, Don Gillis passed away. Several people have requested saying a few words on the program tonight, led off by Ralph Castelli, former mayor, and I'd like to turn it over to him to proceed.
Thank you, Mayor Metzger. This is the first time I've been back at a commission meeting in 7 years, and certainly the first COVID one. Before moving to the matter of Don Gillis, I'd like to express my condolences to Commissioner Perry on the passing of her mother, and from Debbie as well.
Thank
And
you
Don
very
Gillis
much.
was our longest serving city attorney. He was a friend and colleague. I served with him for approximately half of his term as city attorney. With the assistance of former city manager Sherry Ball and Commissioner Brett Scott, we've put together the proposed memorial resolution in his honor for you. And with your permission, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to read it into the record.
I would be delighted to have you do that.
And I've already warned Amy that I've had technical problems with Zoom meetings before, so if I freeze up, she knows to jump in and finish off. City of Pleasant Ridge Memorial Resolution in honor and recognition of Mr. Donald H. Gillis for 27 years of dedicated service as the city attorney for the city of Pleasant Ridge. Whereas Mr. Donald H. Gillis was the Pleasant Ridge city attorney from 1972 until his retirement in 1999, it is appropriate for the community to honor him upon his passing. And whereas Mr. Gillis passed away on October 21st, 2020, and was the beloved husband of Catherine for 62 years, devoted dad to sons Lawrence, James, Bren Macy, and David, Bren Annette, and adoring grandpa to his grandchildren Maxwell and James. And whereas Don and Kathy were proud residents of our community for more than 50 years and are an integral part of our history, volunteering in numerous charitable and civic functions. And whereas his years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to the best interest of the community, as he has worked constantly for the betterment of its economic, cultural, and aesthetic development. And whereas the performance of his duties and responsibilities as our city attorney were characterized by excellent and historic contributions to our municipal government, as demonstrated in his involvement in the lawsuit against the state of Michigan regarding construction of the I-696 freeway that resulted in the establishment of our segregated capital asset fund that helps safeguard the financial stability of our community. And whereas through his impressive career, Don was an influence for the good in the growth and progress of our community, earning the respect of all his professional colleagues and the affection of a host of area residents who are proud to call him friend. And assuming you vote, somebody makes a motion and vote to approve. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Commission of the City of Pleasant Ridge, and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby tender this memorial resolution in honor of Mr. Donald H. Gillis for his distinguished service to our community. Be it further resolved that a copy of this memorial resolution be delivered with our heartfelt sympathy to his family. Adopted by the City Commission on this 10th day of November 2020, in witness whereof I have hereby set my hand in the seal of the City of Pleasant Ridge, Oakland County, Michigan, to be affixed this 10th day of November 2020, to be signed by Amy M. Allison, City Clerk. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ralph. That was wonderful. I really appreciate that. Are there others who would like to speak before we ask for a motion to accept the resolution and some other materials that we've received in the mail? Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on behalf of Don Gillis?
I'd just like to say that in addition to what Ralph had said, Don was the
Dave, I'm sorry. Can we be official and let you introduce yourself first?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
My name's on the screen. I figured everybody.
I know.
David Smith, former city commissioner, also the deputy mayor, and at one time I was the delegate to the South Oakland Cable Communications Authority. And Don was the counsel for that as well. And he saw cable communications in this area from the very beginning. In fact, before the beginning, when we were still just researching and talking about it, and saw it all the way through to cable franchises being awarded and franchises being changed and developed and all those things. And he did all of it pretty much gratis as far as I could tell. And it was just more dedication to helping the community. And we are certainly thankful for all the work that he did in that area as well, and serving all the communities in this southeastern Oakland County area.
Thanks, David. Next. Oh. No. Is there any comments from the commission? Anybody? Unfortunately, many of us didn't have the opportunity to work with Don, so the personal stories are few, but.
Excuse me, Mayor. I think
Yes.
Lauren Howard has just gotten on. I don't know if you wanted to say something, Lauren, about Don Gillis.
I thought I was coming in as you were doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I didn't realize you'd be in the middle. I worked with Don on the City Commission, but also at Kemp Klein. And of course, Don was meticulous with the English language. And so anything a person would write, he would correct. And he used to work on my split infinitives. I still don't exactly know what a split infinitive is, but Don did, and he was very meticulous, which was really a benefit to the city, not just with infinitives. He's the only lawyer that I know who was thrilled when someone gave him a bound set of his legal opinions that he had done for the city. I don't know, has anybody said that already, that Don received that as a gift? Right. He got that as a gift and he was thrilled with it. I myself, speaking as a lawyer, I have no interest in anyone giving me such a thing. Anyway, nobody would want to. But Don was very special, and he worked. The $75 an hour that the city paid him was a donation. I mean, it was amazing that we had the quality of work we did at that price. So that's it.
Lauren, I understand the Huntington Woods Library is going to have a small area for all your opinions.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. All my split infinitives and everything. I'm so relieved.
We've worked it out.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. If they ever reopen,
That's you could leave it on the curb. They'll pick it
I
up.
will. I'll give it my best shot.
Thanks, Lauren.
Sure.
Anyone?
Don was known not only for what he helped us do, but what he counseled us not to do. And there were several occasions, one that comes to mind as Lauren was talking, had to do with the size of antenna, whatever they were, the dishes that you could have on your home. And someone was putting a big one up, and people were up in arms that we should challenge it. And Don's advice was let some other city spend the millions of dollars to challenge it and lose. And we didn't, and another city in this area challenged it, spent a lot of money, and lost.
Good advice.
Right. Oh, did we just lose Ralph?
My screen just went. Oh, no, we got you. Yeah. Did
We
Ralph
may have just
disappear?
lost Ralph.
I'm still here.
Ralph's
Oh, there
here.
you go.
All right. Any other comments?
Yeah, I have a comment. Actually, I'm not on the video, but my name is Pete Orovets, and I live at 4 Norwich Road, next door neighbor to Don and Kathy since 1996. And I just want everyone to know that he had an extremely dry sense of humor, made me laugh all the time. We've gone out to dinner with Kathy and Don and my wife Jan, and having them move away or move out of the house here in the last year or so ago was a very disappointment. Was a big disappointment. But I just want everyone to know, if you've never had the chance or the opportunity to talk to him, he was a great conversationalist, and he will dearly be missed, as well as Kathy. So, as a neighbor, we couldn't have asked for a nicer couple. Thanks very much.
Thank you for those comments.
Mr. Mayor, I had
Yes.
one other thing. As I
Yes,
was
ma'am.
coming up here tonight, my husband reminded me, Don, Kathy, of course, worked on everything in Pleasant Ridge, including the foundation auction. Don only worked on legal things. And so from time to time, Kathy would try to get Bob Obringer to work on the auction, which he did not do either, even though I did. And he would say, well, I'm going to do it when Don does. We're going to have a kissing booth.
Oh, boy.
Bob often says how much money they would have made if he and Don Gillis would have done a kissing booth. Anyway, I thought I'd just say that.
But they didn't, so we'll never know how much they could have brought in. What a shame.
I think it's best that we don't amend the resolution to include that.
There's still time.
Ralph, could you do a whereas? That would be great.
I'm in a negative position, at least in the part.
Well, I really appreciate all the comments. I'm sorry many of us didn't get the opportunity, but it's lovely to hear some of the comments that have been made. And if there are no further comments, and I'm just assuming there are none, I'm going to ask for a motion.
Mayor, I move that we receive and enter into correspondence, enter the correspondence related to the recognition of Don Gillis into the record, and acknowledge Mr. Gillis's contributions to the city of Pleasant Ridge via the passage of the memorial resolution as read.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, let's have a vote, please.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Wall,
Yes.
Commissioner Budnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Mayor Metzger.
Yes, it's unanimous. We approve it. Thank you so much, Ralph, for your work. And I know Brett worked on it as well on the resolution. So thanks to both of you for putting it together. And it is now a part of the permanent record. And it will be,
And thank you to
and a
Sherry
copy
Ball.
will be shared with the family.
Thanks, Ralph.
And thanks to Sherry Ball. She's the one who did the Lions work on the resolution.
Will do. We'll make sure that
Yes.
she gets it as well.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ralph.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is public discussion, items not on the agenda. Is there anyone who wants to speak? Anyone? No?
I think
Mary, did
Jamie's
you want to
trying
Am I
unmute
missing?
herself.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, sorry, I couldn't raise my hand for some reason, but I just wanted to say, hi, I'm Jamie Powell Horowitz, 26419 York Road, Huntington Woods. For those of you who don't know me here, I recently ran for judge and was fortunate enough to be elected. And I just wanted to introduce myself to those of you here who haven't met me. And I wanted to say thank you to Mayor Metzger and to all of the commissioners. Thank you so much for letting me come to your meetings and address the commission on various occasions. I love campaigning in Pleasant Ridge and knocking doors in the summertime. I hope to get to know the residents even more, and I want to make sure that the court is accessible. I see Sergeant Reed on here. I know I'm going to be seeing a lot more of you. Commissioner Wall, thank you so much for standing at the polls for me. And I'll put my information in the chat, so if anyone ever wants to reach out, my door is always open, and I will be seeing you at further meetings. And you just have such wonderful leadership here, and I'm excited to work with the city. Ms. Howard, good to see you here. And I wanted to say, Commissioner Budnick, congratulations on the birth of your new daughter. Very exciting. So
Thank you.
very excited about the coming year.
Congratulations, Jamie. I know that we're going to be talking to Rob Reed and finding out what he thinks of your work over the year, but just be sure we will be watching you carefully. We're really pleased to have you as our judge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yay!
Congrats.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I can't see if anybody's raising, what? Anybody raising their hand? Anything?
Looks like Mary is raising her hand.
Mary?
Hi. I believe I've contacted all the.
Can we get your name and address? Can we get your name and address?
I'm Mary
please?
Sarsfield. I'm not a resident, but I had an interaction with an officer that I'd like to speak about.
Okay.
So I emailed all of the city commission members, I believe, and yourself, Mr. Mayor. So I won't go into it too far, but I did want to, I'm 6 months pregnant, very scary in this COVID time. My family and I have been doing all we can to socially distance and wear masks and everything. So you can imagine my surprise when we were pulled over by a Pleasant Ridge officer who was not wearing a mask. Obviously, to conduct the traffic stop, he had to come within 6 feet of our car. He was often not farther than 2 feet away from my partner. And my daughter was in the car, and she's under 2 years old. So I've been in contact with the chief of police, who informed me that that the officer states that wearing a mask interferes with his ability to communicate. I wear a mask all the time and go out and communicate with people just fine. I don't really think that that's a reasonable exception to the order that the governor issued for public safety officers to wear masks unless it severely interferes with their ability to do their job. So, excuse me, I'm a little bit shy with public speaking, but I just wanted to voice my concerns, and I hope that just out of respect for the people that are getting stopped by your officers. I mean, we can't choose to socially distance from an officer. We are kind of required to communicate with them, and we can't walk away from them. So I just think it's important for officers to wear a mask during a traffic stop for something as simple as a brake light. I knew he was an officer. There was no reason for him to not wear a mask. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Officer Reed or Sergeant Reed, are there any policies that the Pleasant Ridge Police are following regarding masks?
The chief spoke with me briefly about this. He did receive some communication with Ms. Sarsfield. We have a citywide policy as far as the officers on the police side. If we're going into someone's home, if we're having an interaction inside an area, the officers do wear masks. We do have protocols for that. On traffic stops, this could go either way. We are exempted from that through, I believe it's Executive Order 2020-147, any public safety officer. We do understand where some people would like us to wear the mask. We have other people that say when we get out of the vehicle that wearing a mask across our face is intimidating, and part of the interaction with the public is being able to see our facial expressions and being able to see what we're doing underneath the mask. Some people think that it's an intimidating factor if we do have a mask on. It's kind of one of those situations where we try to do the best we can. When we are interacting with the public, we're trying to stay behind that B pillar on the vehicle and, kind of talk at an angle to the person so that, we're having our direct line of communication, but we're cognizant of all those issues. But no, we're not mandated to wear the mask on traffic stops. And it's one of the situations where you can't make everybody happy. I don't know the particulars on Ms. Sarsfield's incident. I don't know if she asked the officer. I know we have all have masks in the car. So maybe after the initial contact, if she said, hey, I'd be more comfortable if you would wear a mask, I don't think any of our officers would disagree and go back to the car, but I don't know the particulars on that.
I assumed if he had a mask, he would be wearing it. And also, do you consider not the fear of the possibility of not being able to, having to repeat yourself a few times, is that an inability to perform his public safety duties? Because that's the only exemption for public safety officers, as far as I know, in terms of the newest order from the governor.
I think, ma'am, unfortunately, I think it's an issue you're going to need to take up with the chief.
I have done so, and to no avail.
Well,
I mean, it's such a simple thing to wear a mask.
This isn't a forum where I'm going to get into a back and forth with you, unfortunately, right now. If you'd like to talk to me, I'm working tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Maybe we can talk it out and have something for resolution. But right now,
thanks.
That's a question.
Thanks, Rob. I didn't want to get into a back and forth or anything like that, and I don't want you to have to try to explain why another officer did what they did. I think I'm glad that we got the resident, the non-resident story out, and I also just wanted to get some feedback from you. And I would assume that Mary will follow up if necessary, and we will continue to follow this in the future. We will certainly encourage make sure the use of masks and make sure that those who are stopped are comfortable with the situation in terms of mask wearing. So, any comments from commissioners or anything?
Thank you for coming and telling us, Mary.
Are there any other items for public discussion? If not, let's move on to governmental reports. I know we have Sergeant Reed. I'm not sure if there are any other representatives here. Because Sergeant Reed, you're back
Yes,
on.
Mayor. Thank you for having me back, Mayor and Commissioners. It is November, so this is my usual time of year where I am delegated to come because our chief happens to be up north. Luckily, this month has been a pretty quiet month. The one thing that I did want to bring up, the residents on Oxford and other places on the west side have already been informed about it. We did have someone enter a house. That's the first time that's happened in a while. They came in and stole a purse out of the house in the middle of the night. So at this point, we're working with other communities. It's reminiscent of some other things that have happened over the past few years. Might be the same person, might not. But our officers are working with Royal Oak, Huntington Woods, Birmingham, Bloomfield. There was someone that was doing this a couple years ago, but it was, I believe, 18 months ago was the last time that it had happened. So basically, just want to remind everyone, keep your doors locked at night. Lock up those vehicles. We kind of harp on everyone throughout the year, but that's the easiest way to negate about 99% of the issue. So keep those vehicles locked, keep the houses locked at night. We believe this is one isolated incident within Pleasant Ridge. We haven't had anything else, but did want to make people aware that we did have someone do that.
Commissioners, any questions?
No, thank you for letting us know. It's always good to have, for everyone to be a little bit more alert to this. So thank you, Rob, or Sergeant Reed.
Yes, and I just want to give Sergeant Reed snaps for being so all over it. Everybody on Oxford really appreciated your attention to it.
You're welcome. That's what we're here for.
Good. Thank you. Are there any other reports? Any other governmental?
Yeah. Hello, Mayor Metzger, Chief Pichet, Ferndale Fire.
Oh, yes.
Hi. I missed the last meeting. I apologize. And
It's okay.
I'm in my home office, so I hope it's not echoing too much. But I want to say good evening to you and the commissioners. I have a couple of messages. I'll start with COVID. We all know it's back. Cases are rising very rapidly. Very sad to say that and report that, but the cases are climbing pretty quickly. So I want to remind everybody to tell their friends and family, wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance, all the safety points. The holidays are coming up, so there's going to be family gatherings with family and friends. Please do your best to limit those gatherings, and if you have to wear a mask in your house, you have to wear a mask in your house. My wife and I just had a family gathering at my in-laws. There was 15 people there, and we wore masks and hung around outside in the chilly weather just because I was. But the city of Ferndale, there's 5 employees throughout the city, none on the fire department, thank goodness, that have come down with COVID, and the contact tracing is coming back that they received COVID or contracted it from outside of work, so at home, at weddings, at parties and stuff. So just try and be diligent with that. And we can beat this one day. Daylight savings was last week, so that means people should be checking their smoke alarms, changing their batteries if needed. Again, if you need a smoke alarm, the city of Ferndale has plenty of smoke alarms. The state fire marshal actually paid us a visit and dropped off several boxes of them. They're free. You can go on ferndalemI.gov and contact the fire marshal, and he'll be glad to come out and set something up to install them. Fireplaces. So the holidays are approaching, the cold weather. A lot of people have fireplaces. Please get those inspected if needed. If you use them a lot, make sure there's no creosote buildup or maybe a crack in the flue. Only burn clean wood and keep it safe. Have a fire extinguisher nearby as well. Thanksgiving's approaching and the other holidays, and a lot of people don't usually cook until then. We usually get a couple of oven fires. It's usually a pretty simple fire. And a lot of times it's from people that are storing like plastic cutting boards and things like that inside their oven. Turn the oven on, thing starts to melt. So just something to think about. The burning of leaves. We've had at least a dozen calls in the last 2 weeks. People burning leaves in town. Very dangerous. It's prohibited. Please don't do it. Break them to the street or put them in bags or mulch them. It can really take off and, catch your garage, your car, your home on fire. Very dangerous. With leaves, if they are in the street, please do not park on piles of leaves because the catalytic converter in the exhaust system easily catches cars on fire. Those are my safety tips. And I believe I sent everybody an email a few weeks ago. I'm going to be, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here. I'm sorry. I announced my retirement. So I didn't expect to retire for 4 more years. I have another opportunity with the city of Birmingham. I'm going to move over there and be their fire marshal for the next 7 years. So I extended my career, but I'm moving over to Birmingham. It was something I couldn't turn down. Interim chief, actually, Fire Marshal Dennis Barr has been named the interim chief. So as of November 21st, he will take over, and he's going to do that for 2 months. The city put out a nationwide search for a fire chief, and they are sure to make sure that new chief has a lot of community engagement and prevention. That was my big thing and one of my successes. But they had 36 candidates, so they're starting to interview candidates. So I'm sure you're going to find, or the city's going to find the right chief. I've had such a nice time getting to know all of you, and you guys have always been very welcoming and very nice to me, and I really appreciate that. And I enjoy the relationships that we built and the friendships. And if you're up in Birmingham, stop by the firehouse, say hi. I'm there Monday through Friday, 7 to 4, no extra hours, from what I'm told. But no, it'd be nice to talk to you guys once in a while. Everybody is just so friendly and so very welcoming, and I really appreciate that.
Jack, I just wanted to say, I think did they throw you the party today? Was it?
No. So next Thursday.
Oh, next Thursday.
From 1 to 3, you guys are welcome to stop by. Please wear a mask. And they will check your temp and everything. Next Thursday from 1 to 3, they're going to pull out the trucks at Station 1 over on Livernois. They're going to have coffee and cake, and you'll probably meet some other Oakway chiefs and maybe some of our city officials. They did embarrass me yesterday at our council meeting when they started the council meeting. They were playing Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. It was kind of funny. But yeah, and then Friday's my last day, and traditionally family will come up there for dinner, and then they'll take me from one station to the other. You guys are familiar with Bobcat Bonnie's?
Yep.
The owner was real adamant about throwing me a party, but I had to turn him down because of COVID. I don't want to be a hypocrite and have
right. Good for you.
Too much, but it was really nice of Matt Buscard at Bobcat Bonnie's to offer that, but I had to turn him down. But a little in-house get-together is nice, and you're all welcome to stop by.
Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to add, I mean, obviously we were all sorry when Kevin Sullivan had to step down, but you came on so strong and community-based and brought the fire. I mean, helping me get on up in the fire engine, coming to Four Ridge and providing all the materials and all the information that we wanted. You were there every time we asked, and sometimes when we didn't. You've been terrific for Pleasant Ridge. I couldn't ask for more, and your comments and what you've brought to our commission meetings have always been so right on target and so helpful. I really wish you the best in Birmingham. I'm sorry that we'll have to go there to see you, but I'm sure one or two of us will drop by periodically.
That'd be great.
Yeah, Chief Pache, thank you so much for everything. I just want to second everything that the mayor said. You have been it was hard for us with losing Kevin Sullivan, and you just stepped into his shoes beautifully. And we're just so friendly to the community and made you helped the kids and the adults and everyone just feel very safe, and you engaged with everyone beautifully. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would like to just say such a warm attitude and so much fun. I think people really related to you and really appreciated your genuine concern.
Thanks. Yeah, it was totally unexpected. I kicked it around for a few months. You know, the offer to apply came back in May, and I kept putting it off. And then I talked to my financial advisor, and he was going to commit me if I didn't do it. I was going to retire, here, and then taking that job. And I just, I have a daughter that's going to college and just trying to get set up, But I'll miss everybody, truly. And,
well, the unexpected opportunities are often the best. So,
yeah.
I'm sure this will work out really well.
Yep. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for tuning in to say goodbye to us.
Absolutely. I had the camera off because I'm at home and we have a hairless cat, and I would look like Dr. Evil. She runs around, so.
Dr.
All right.
Evil. All right.
Yeah.
Thank
Take care.
you for that. Thank you for your question on that.
All right.
I'd really like to see that hairless cat. I'm sorry. Maybe another time.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. The next item.
Mayor?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Would you like us to give liaison reports now or in other business?
Well, I was thinking about that. Why don't we do that? Let's have anybody with a liaison report. And of course, since you brought it up, Brett, you get to go first.
Sure, just a couple of things for the,
Yes.
for the Historical Commission. We picked a date for what will likely be a garden tour and not a home and garden tour for 2021. And that's going to be on Saturday, September 11. We looked through the calendar in September and picked a day where there are very few football games so that there are no conflicts in the household. And so that's the date we've landed on. Mark your calendars. And I suspect that at the beginning of the year, we'll start to reach out to the community to see which homes might like to participate. Also, people that are approaching their 100-year home date, you've likely received a letter in the mail. If you could, please check through your mail. I know there was a lot of it in the last 2 weeks for various candidates. It might be hidden between that mail. We are asking people to try to get those back to us by the end of the November so that we can get a count for how many 100-year plaques to order from Pewabic Tile, and we'll get that squared away. So if you could look for that, that would be great. And then the last thing is that we've got some openings coming up in the Historical Commission. So if you have any interest in joining the Historical Commission, reach out to City Hall and we'll grab those applications and then begin the process of filling the open spots for next year.
Great.
Thank you.
Anne, do you have anything from planning and DDA?
Thank you, Mayor. And so the Planning Commission did meet on, or DDA, I forget which it was, Jim, but we met to discuss signage a couple weeks ago. And I don't have all the dates and everything ready. I apologize because it's one of those things we haven't met for so long. I'm a little bit out of practice, but they had a good, thorough discussion about signage. Jim, do you want to discuss it a little bit deeper? Thank you.
Sure, Ann. I'd love to. The Planning Commission set a public hearing date for Monday, December 14, for some amendments to the sign ordinance. There have been some Supreme Court cases and other case law that required us to take a look at our sign ordinance to make sure that we're in compliance with all of the current case law and rulings. Nothing is really changing all that much. Just a couple tweaks, mostly around temporary signs. And I think that's about it. So we'll have the draft out before that on the website for anyone to look at and comment at the public hearing on the 14th. The Planning Commission will have to act to approve the ordinance, and then it'll come to the City Commission as well, because there's going to be, the City Commission is going to have to approve this as well as the Planning Commission. So you'll be hearing more about it in the future.
Thank you, Jim. So December 14th will be the Planning Commission's next meeting. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Budnick, anything with Ferndale Schools?
Nothing new to add at the moment, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right.
I have a meeting next week I'll be attending, and hopefully we'll have some new stuff there, but nothing at the moment.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Commissioner Wall, Recreation?
Yes. Adult bingo, Thursday, November 12th at 6:30. That is this Thursday. Please sign up by noon on Thursday. Tree lighting ceremony, it's gonna be a little different this year. Monday, December 7th at 6 p.m. at Memorial Park, but join in the magic of the season, but no Santa appearance this year. But we are scheduling pictures with Santa Saturday, December 12th from 10 to 12. Limited space. I think it's really limited. Shawnee, isn't there like only a couple seats left or spaces left?
Yeah, there's about 3 to 5 spots left.
Okay, pretty cool. So pictures will be taken as socially distanced in the community center parking lot. New this year, phone calls from Santa. Who doesn't want a phone call from Santa? Calls will be made the week of December 14th, so that's exciting. The Wellness Center will be open from 8 to 3 regular hours on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, November 27th. Gleaners Virtual Food Drive to help raise money to fight hunger in the community. Every dollar provides 3 meals to someone in need. PR's goal is $700, so that's a really great thing. I've personally volunteered there, and they do a lot of really good things. Holiday house decorating contest, kind of like we did with the Halloween. Deadline to submit photos is December 21st. And then I should give snaps for the second annual Halloween home decorating contest winners. Jim and Amy Bowering, they got the creepiest skeleton. Scott and Heidi Donovan, best decorated pumpkin. Jen Latomiski and Val Newman, scariest home, no surprise there. Mike and Carrie Crawley and Jen and Val Newman, judges' favorite. And thanks to everyone that decorated. It was really fun, and I think everyone got a really good kick out of it, and the houses looked amazing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any comments from commissioners? Anything else?
Shawnee, how is everything going with the fitness center with the COVID safety? And I know you're doing very tight scheduling, to be safe for everyone.
So we are allowed up to 5 people per hour. So we schedule that, and then we take a half-hour break between the next group. And we do clean for that half hour, and we do use a commercial grade cleaner in between each hour and each group of people. So, and then there's different, each station is stationed for social distancing. So it's partitioned off with a thick gauge, like a painter's, it's kind of like a painter's swap, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word, in between each machine. So that way they'll have the social distance between each set.
Oh, that's
machines.
great.
Yep. And people are really excited to be back. They wear their mask, everybody takes their temperature, everybody's signed in, they fob in. So they've been excited to be able to have some place to go to exercise. We've had a lot of people with this beautiful weather that have exercised out. So the gym's been a little slow the last few days, but knowing that the cold weather's coming, we see an upswing on it.
And the scheduling is working well?
Oh yeah, it's going really well.
Good.
People really like to know when they're coming, and they've done a really good job. Like if they can't make it, they can take themselves out, so that way other people can get in, because sometimes we have people on a wait list. Some of those real popular times, 8 in the morning, 5 o'clock, the 6:30 time slot, those are real popular times. So people can take themselves out throughout the day if they can't make it, and then the next person can jump right on in.
Great, that's important. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
so it's worked out really good, and people have been very respectful of that. So
excellent. Great.
And Shawnee, did I see that yoga has started back up or something?
Yep, we had our first in-person class today with Ann Quinn, and that was really good. People were excited to be back for that. And
awesome. That's great.
Yeah, and that went really well too. But again, it was a beautiful day, so we opened up the garage door, and the breeze was coming.
Cool.
Yeah. So she was excited about that, and it was really nice to see some of our regular faces back.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, Shawnee, how are you and Greg holding up?
Oh, we're doing really good. We're thankful we have each other. And we work really good as a team. So, we've been doing some stuff on the pool deck.
The pavilion
Greg
looks
texts
beautiful.
me right now. Yes, isn't that beautiful? So they're just finishing up the last paint touches in the last couple days here. And so that's really turned out good. And everything's really winterized now. We're working to get all the leaves off the deck. So that way nothing's stained for next summer or next spring when we're opening.
Excellent.
Cool. Good to hear.
Yes,
Good,
but
good.
thank you for asking. Yeah, we're enjoying coming up with some new programming, different ways of doing things.
Is there any limit to the amount of people who can join in on bingo?
No, the more the merrier. We're gonna deliver on Thursday at noon. We're gonna start delivering the bingo cards, but the more the merrier.
Oh, that's great.
Spread the word. We'd love to see the faces.
Okay.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? Shawnee, we have to talk about the virtual gingerbread house making this year.
Yep. So hopefully that'll go. We're still trying to see if we can generate enough interest for that to be able to go. And then we have a couple other things. Greg and I will be doing the face decorating, ugly sweater, face decorating, mask decorating. So we're working on a couple things, and we'll have the specifics for that for the next meeting, because those will be later in December. So we'll have some prices, dates, times, and all of that good stuff. We'll have some of that information nailed down. Yep.
Sounds like a lot's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, not bad.
Just have
Excellent.
to get creative with it.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, I know the two of you are extremely creative, so we should be just fine.
Thank you for saying that.
Okay, next item is the consent agenda. There are 2 items, nothing of any special notice, just minutes and a monthly disbursement report. So I'm going to ask if I can have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
You're on mute.
Oh, Mayor, I move that the consent agenda be approved.
There's support?
Second that.
Okay, let's have a vote, please.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Commissioner Budnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Wall,
Yes.
Mayor Metzger.
Yes, motion carries. The next item is the Open Meeting Act policy discussion. I imagine this is a Jim and Greg thing. So, Jim?
Sure. It's pretty simple. The state legislature passed an amendment to the Open Meetings Act to allow communities to continue meeting virtually for any reason whatsoever through the end of 2020, and then through 2021 if we've declared a local state of emergency. So we had not declared a local state of emergency. There's really no need for us to do so earlier this year when COVID first hit. Didn't give us any powers or anything that we couldn't already do. Now that we've got the authorization from the legislature to continue meeting virtually, and as we look at the case numbers going up, I think that we will certainly continue to do that. We've got 2 items that the City Commission needs to approve. First is the declaration of a local state of emergency. I'm the designated emergency management coordinator for the city, so we're set there per state law. And then a resolution establishing the rules and procedures for remote meetings. And this is developed straight out of the requirements that are in that amendment to state law. Greg, is there anything that I haven't covered that we should add?
No, Jim, I think you've covered it all. It's obviously optional as to whether you would continue to meet remotely, but the emergency declaration and the resolution gives you the option to do so at least through 2021. After that, then unless the legislation changes, then this authorization would stop, but at least it'll cover us through the next year.
I'm going to have one question for Greg about the resolution, but before that, I'd like to read the local state of emergency declaration. So this entitled COVID-19 Coronavirus Pandemic Local State of Emergency. Whereas a local state of emergency exists due to the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, And whereas during the state of emergency, the city commission and city administration will be making decisions and undertaking necessary and appropriate actions to protect the public health of our city residents and the general public. And whereas all locally available public and private resources available to mitigate and alleviate the effects of this emergency have been insufficient to meet the needs of the situation. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Kurt Metzger, Mayor of the City of Pleasant Ridge, in accordance with Section 10 of 1976 PA 390 as amended, the Emergency Management Act, I hereby declare that a local state of emergency exists within our jurisdiction as of November 5th, 2020. So that is the state of emergency, which I will be asking for a motion to approve. And my one question on the resolution, Greg, they make a comment about meetings beginning with each of the members of the meeting identifying themselves and telling where they are located at that time. Will that be required?
That's correct. That's one of the requirements of the new legislation. But you can identify yourself by city and state. You don't need to give an address or anything like that.
Right. Okay, and each of us would do that at the beginning after we've convened the meeting. Then.
That's correct.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
Just a follow-up question to Greg. That does not include people that are in attendance in the audience. It's only the people on the commission. Is that correct? Or the junior commissions?
That's correct. If you're a member of the public body, whether it's the commission or planning commission or whatever, would need to identify themselves. As far as members of the public go, they would only need to identify themselves if they want to make comment, but otherwise They would not be covered under that requirement.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any comments from other commissioners?
No, thank you.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask that a motion be made to accept both the state of emergency declaration and the resolution.
Mayor, I move the City Commission declare a local state of emergency and adopt the proposed Open Meetings Act policy regarding the rules and procedures for remote meetings to be held while the local state of emergency is in effect.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, Amy, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Perry?
Yes.
Commissioner Wall?
Yes.
Commissioner Budnick?
Yes.
Commissioner Scott?
He muted himself.
Yes.
Mayor Metzger?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is city manager's report. Jim?
Thank you. A few things to update you on. One of the things is we've kind of talked about this in a few different contexts tonight, but the rising case numbers that we're seeing and the fall resurgence, which we all sort of knew was coming, I think, but it's certainly here. And some of our surrounding communities are taking another look at whether they're going to close their city halls again. We're all in communication on that. We haven't made any decisions about anything that Pleasant Ridge is going to be doing. We did open our wellness center. Not every community has opened their recreation facilities, but we're gonna try to keep going as long as we reasonably can. We haven't seen any reason to believe that there's been any transmission in any of our facilities. So we're gonna keep taking all of those precautions and trying to keep on where we're at right now. And we'll just monitor the landscape and report back as we learn anything. I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has on COVID-related items, but I think we're status quo for the time being. And the only other update is the Gainsborough Pavilion hasn't yet started, and the reason for that is we got stymied by consumers. There's a gas line that needs to be moved because we found it where it runs next to the building, and that's about the worst thing you can run into, just in the time frame that it takes consumers to decide they're going to come help you out. So I've been talking with Boris over at USTAN just about contingency plans, and they can build really through the winter. This really shouldn't slow us down. We're still on track to have this constructed for next spring. The only thing that might happen would be that the concrete and perhaps some of the masonry work might be done in the spring as the last thing. But we are still on track for that. So if anyone's wondering why nothing seems to have happened over there, that's why.
That's great.
And other than that, I don't have anything else specific to update you on. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Jim?
Do you want to talk about leaf removal or during other business?
They're doing a beautiful job.
They are. They're doing a beautiful job. We have to reset expectations every year, I think. And a couple. You highlighted some of the biggest stumbling blocks, like ivy and things like that. No sticks, stuff like that. Last time.
Right. Only leaves. So nothing else. No sticks, no ivy, no pumpkins, no bricks, no anything. Unless it's a leaf that fell off a tree. Don't put it on the curb. And other than that, the weather this year has actually been about, I don't even want to say it.
Perfect.
Don't say it.
It's gone well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of leaves in the street right now. We had a very concentrated fall early in the season, which is good. So Brylar has their work certainly cut out for them this week. We are applying all the pressure we can to keep them going. But hopefully we get through this week well, and we'll be in good shape if we can get through this week.
Well, it's amazing how many times they fill up just on one street. I mean, the amount of leaves out there that have fallen over this last week are amazing. So it's just they're doing the best they can, but the trucks have to be emptied. So
right. And with leaf collection, some of the common things we hear is no, we don't know when they're going to be on your street.
Right. You can't.
There's a lot of variables at play, so we can't schedule it. When they come by your house and they do your street during the week where the pickup is scheduled on your side of the city, that's it. They're not coming back. There's plenty of leaves elsewhere that they have to get. And then if they do pick up all the leaves on one side of the city, they try to work ahead a little bit on the other side just to stay ahead of the game. Inevitably, we're going to lose days for reasons during leaf collection season. So we always have to budget that in or factor that in. And so, that's really the main questions we get. Just be flexible. I often, today I was driving home, I was checking out some of the streets that got picked up, and there were people out putting leaves on the streets that had just been picked up. So those leaves are going to sit there for a week or two now. But that's fine. We'll get them.
Thanks, Jim. Any other sore subjects you want to bring up, Ann?
Let's think.
No. Any other questions for Jim? Okay. I'm going to move on to other business. Who wants to start? We have no book club. Amy, you want to talk about the election?
All right, so 81% of Pleasant Ridge voters turned out for the election. 71% of those were absentee ballots that were returned.
That's huge.
It's huge, and it's a really good turnout for us. 57 people that received absentee ballots decided not to vote them and turned up at the precinct and voted at the precinct instead. A big thank you to the precinct workers, to Kirsten, to Greg, for being there all day. It got kind of hectic there at the beginning, and then it just kind of stayed steady for them until the end of the day. So they did a great job. And I cannot complain with the great group of people that we have working in the community as election inspectors. Now with that all over, we're back concentrating on the voter rolls, getting the countdown clock set for people that are inactive voters, so that they have the opportunity to respond or get purged off the roll. So we're working on that here at City Hall. Kirsten and I are working on that together. She's kind of did a lot of the absentee ballot issuance and is working hand in hand with me on the voter rolls. So that's a nice project there, and it's a nice partnership that we have going on here at City Hall.
Well, I wanted to thank you. I mean, it seemed to have gone beautifully. The numbers were in right away. I mean, it didn't take long. It was not, I'm sure it was a little bit of a pain to have to wait until election day to start opening the absentee ballots. And hopefully next time around, the legislature will change that, but I have my doubts. It would certainly make things smoother, I would think. But congratulations on another election. Gone much smoother than many around the country. So
Right. No, like I said, we couldn't be happier with the group of people that we have. We have a really engaged community. They show up, they come, they vote, and it's great. I mean, we thank you guys.
yeah, I'm just curious, did the absentee ballot people who decided to come to vote in person, did they bring their ballots or did they become provisional?
No, some did,
Yeah.
and then some filled out the form that said that it was lost or destroyed or they never received it.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah,
And so then that just becomes okay.
right now. So, and like I said, some did, some came in, and then we had what did we have? 48 people returned them on election day, so that was nice. I had some people visiting me, so that was nice.
Excellent.
Amy, how many people did you say brought their ballots or didn't return their ballots, came and voted in person instead?
57.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, I did vote in person on election day, and it was so smooth and felt, very, very safe from a COVID perspective, and so well organized and smooth. It was a great day. Thank you.
The only complaint I heard when people were walking out was that they missed the cookies and the coffee.
I know the cookies and coffee. I know there just isn't a way for us to do that.
No,
safely. So we were trying to come up with things that we could do so that there would be something, but we just couldn't come up with anything. So we gave everyone a sticker.
Well, double cookies next year. So
great.
Mayor, how do we do against Huntington Woods?
Okay, I'm gonna voice my. We didn't do well. We lost to Huntington. We lost to actually a number of communities in Oakland County. So we didn't, and I continue to argue the fact that our registration rolls are bloated, which right now. And this is not Amy. This is my thing that I just keep. The Census Bureau and SEMCOG give our total population estimate, either from the Census Bureau or SEMCOG, is lower than the number of registered voters in the city.
Mm-hmm.
That means every person in the city is accounted for, plus a couple hundred more in our registered voters. So every child is you'd think that every child was registered to vote. So there's obviously, and I know people want to stay connected to Pleasant Ridge, but there is, when you look at the data I've gotten data out of the Secretary of State that shows our registered voters is 2513, I believe, but our active voters, meaning those who have come to the polls within the last number of years, is only 2175.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to take close to 400 people off the rolls, our turnout would be closer to 90%, where it should be. And I believe that our turnout was closer to 90% and not 81%. Mm-hmm. But you can't argue that with the data as it is. So
right.
So, but if everything goes well, Nat Pernix offered up the dollars, we should be getting the $500 for passing the 80% mark, and we should get $500 for coming just behind Huntington Woods. So I think we're going to get $500 that we can give to Fern Care and $500 that we can give to the Ferndale Youth Assistance, which will be great. Yeah. So that's another benefit.
Good work, everybody.
Yeah. Any other comments? I have one other thing that Shawnee asked me to talk about, and that's the coats for the cold Coat Drive. And just to preface, and I think Shawnee even made a comment to me that she was amazed what kinds of needs there are in Oakland County. We tend to think of Oakland County as this wealthy county. Chamber of Commerce pushes that we're one of the wealthiest counties. We certainly have high college graduation rates and everything like that. But I was looking at the data, and in 2019, the most recent information coming from the Census Bureau, 95,572 Oakland County residents had incomes below the poverty line. So almost 100,000. This was in 2019, and another 60,000 were just above the poverty line. My guess is that many of those 60,000 fell below because of COVID. A lot of those people are the hourly jobs that were eliminated early on and probably have not come back yet. So we're talking certainly the need in Oakland County, hunger need and housing needs, and certainly clothing needs are tremendous. And it's throughout the county. It's not, we know Pontiac, we think of Royal Oak Township, Hazel Park, and some other areas, but there is poverty throughout the county in all areas. And so the need is great. And for that, Pleasant Ridge is participating in the Oakland County Sheriff's Department Coats for the Cold Coat Drive. We're looking for new or gently used coats and jackets for all ages, children and adults. And collection boxes are set up at both City Hall and Four Ridge and will be there through the month of November. So we encourage Pleasant Ridge residents, if you can, please donate a coat or a jacket to this worthy cause. A lot of people are in need and will certainly appreciate it. And I imagine that Toys for Tots will certainly be up. Lee Hart and Ameriprise will be sponsoring Toys for Tots again, I'm sure. So another effort through Pleasant Ridge that is very, very important that people take part of. So are there any other comments before I ask for a motion to adjourn? No comments? All right, I'm going to ask, is there a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I move we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy start to the holidays, everybody.
Yes, happy
Ew.
Thanksgiving, everyone.